Today we're rating custom Magic the Gathering cards on Reddit. Alright, we're going to start off with the second breakfast. It's a green sorcery. If it's your main phase... Wait a minute, second breakfast. Isn't that like a Lord of the Rings thing? Okay, if it's your first main phase, there is an additional beginning phase after this phase. Create 2 food tokens. Oh yeah, what about second breakfast? Pippin to Aragorn. I don't think he knows about second breakfast, Pip. I don't think he knows about that's so flavorful. If it's your first main phase, there's an addition. You get a second breakfast out of all those. And you get the food tokens on top of that. Bon appetit. Alright, next up we got Void Sliver. We got a black 6 generic Sliver creature. It's a creature. Non-sliver spells cost 1 more to cast for each sliver you control. Oh my goodness. I think that, well, it's like 8 mana, so I guess it just doesn't matter. But there's definitely a point where if you have enough of these sliver creatures in play, you're gonna lock your opponents out and they just cannot do anything at all. You just put the Void Sliver in play. Okay, that's like the ultimate Thalia tax. No one gets to play anything from here on out. I don't know, unless you can reanimate stuff for no mana. Oh, you think it's doable? I don't know if this is a doable card. I mean, it's 8 mana. There's a lot of other ways. You need a lot of slivers in play. From here on out, if Void Sliver exists, nobody will let a sliver player have like more than 5 permanents in play in terms of slivers. Do we need more slivers? You know what? I think we do. We do need more slivers. Imagine cascading into this. Isn't there a cascade sliver? I think it's only like 5 mana though. It's not possible to get to this thing. It's a lot of mana to get mana reduction. That's true. What if you reanimate this thing in play with like 3 slivers? I think it's broken. I think it could be broken. It's probably not broken. Whatever. I'll give it a dubious pass. At least they made it 8 mana. It is a lot of mana. By the time it gets out, you're already buried, probably. It's a good way of looking at it. Heaven Contract. We got white sorcery. Double your life total. Discard 4 cards. Ignorance is bliss is the flavor text. How do we feel about this card? You don't need to have 4 cards in your hand in order to use this, but all it does is double your life total. Does anyone want to go to 80? Did anyone's like, you know what? I wish I had 80 life. If only I had 80 life, you know, things would be a lot better. You can like maybe flash this thing back and I don't know, go to 160. But it doesn't do anything about commander damage. You can't get that back. Zyber, just discard 2 is enough. Gareth says, "Hola, my ments. Welcome. Heavenly Contract, whatever." Sort of a boring card, to be honest. Double your life totals. For those life gain players, they're so tempted. Like, hey kid, you want some life gain? Here's the life gain. Have all the life gain you want. Bluto! Mad Scholar. It's a red-blue 2 generic 3/4 human advisor with reach. That doesn't make any sense. Human advisor with reach? What is it, because of the little stupid dragon on its shoulder? My own research is the ability whenever an opponent casts their first spell each turn, investigate. That's probably broken. Mind melting theory. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, each player mills 4 cards. That's probably fine. It's probably a fine card. I don't know. I don't know how to interpret this. Whenever an opponent casts their first spell each turn. Like, and that can happen multiple times across multiple turns. Like, I play spells on my turn, and then I might play my first spell on the next person's turn when I counter it, or I play a removal spell, or a tutor, or something. So, I think this part gets out of control really fast. Joke's on you! I'm playing Infect for to the person who spent all their time getting to 320 life. It's all over. Annoying players would use this, absolutely. You know what? I can't tell if this is broken or not. I would say this sounds pretty bad. Like when you investigate, it's just a clue, right? You just draw a card for 2 mana. So you need a lot of mana to get the investment out of it. But anyway, I think it sounds broken. Moving on. Okay, well, we got Yo Little Ted here with the super chat, The Gilded Drake. So you can super chat, go to our custom magic, submit your cards, give me the name of the what's it called? Give me the name of of your card. Not the card, sorry. The post. I'll look it up and we go look at the Drake. It's a play on the word of drakes. All right, we got the Gilded Drake. Blue, blue, blue for a 2/2 Drake. Yeah, you got it. It's a Drake. Named Drake. The Gilded Drake enters the battlefield. Exchange control of it with target legendary creature an opponent controls or sacrifice. Oh, I get it. The Gilded Drake. So it's Gilded Drake for legendaries. Whenever the Gilded Drake would enter the any graveyard from anywhere, put it at the bottom of its owner's library instead. Oh, very cheatsy of you. You want to reuse that Gilded Drake over and over again. What is a Drake exactly in MTG? A small dragon? Yeah, it's like a small dragon. Or it's this guy. Oh, I thought this was the AI generated show. Makes more sense now. Yeah, they're all custom cards. We rotate it between the AI generated and the custom cards every week. All right. Well, this is a pass. I mean, it's sort of just a worse version of regular Gilded Drake. This only hits the legendary creatures. Regular Gilded Drake hits anything. Look at you trying to get around the reserve list, Yo Little Ted. Feeling very proud of yourself right there, right now. Not fun. Well, the Gilded Drake, you see wings on this guy? No. I don't either. Some custom cards feel like AI. I am certain that people are using AI now. They're just throwing into Chat GPT and they're having a great time. Design magic card that does this, or just design random magic cards. All right, one final wish for red blue. It's an instant and is as an additional cost to cast this spell. Sacrifice all blue permanents you control. Mill your library, then exile your graveyard. Until end of turn, you may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. You control target opponent's next turn. What the hell is going on here? We have to sack all blue permanents, lose our library. So basically, is this like before Thoracle? Do we lose a cards in hand? We don't. You may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. So this is just basically like, okay, I play this, and I'm threatening to Thoracle you right now. Because if you don't do anything about it, I'm just going to exile my library and put Thoracle in play. Sort of a BS card. Absolutely, yeah, we're absolutely shredding this card. Completely broken. And you control target opponent's next turn. But I thought you were gonna I thought you were gonna win the game this turn. Like I thought that's the whole point of this thing. One final wish. I guess it must be some reference to this show that I don't know. Yeah, it's like cast this, win the game, or if you can't, lose it. Or if I haven't won the game, I get control of your next turn, in addition to everything else. What a wild card. Welcome, Monster CC. We got King Ginger. He's going for Changeling for your lands. Changeling for your lands. Terraformation. Hopefully you can find it. I couldn't find it after I posted it. Changeling. Oh, I didn't put the E here. I cannot find it. I'll just look up for your lands. Are you sure? Yeah, I can't find it. Maybe we'll look for it later. I do it sometimes if you like post it really early, you can't find it for like one reason or another. We'll try again a little bit later. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go to Abe. Check out my Vault of Zalafir. See if it's been up for. I don't know what it is with looking up cards. Vault of Zalfir. See, this thing's been up for a month, so it's easy to find. Let's get that baby in focus. 4 generic mana, big clock-looking thing. It's a legendary artifact. With Flash? Why do we have Flash? Since when does any artifacts have Flash, by the way? Isn't Flash reserved for, you know, animate objects, not a clock? Not an inanimate object? Anyway, okay, so... when Vault of Zalfir enters the battlefield, phase out any number of other non-land permanents you own until Vault of Zalfir leaves play. Okay, any number, so you can phase them out, and then pay white, 2 generic. Exile Vault of Zalfir until your next turn. Your life total can't change, and you have protection from everything. That's totally fine. I think that's a totally fine card. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, suddenly a giant clock. Ta-da! The clock just appears out of nowhere. The clock, it's sentient. Maybe someone throws the vault at instant speed. Effectively, that's what it means. Urza's flying thingamabob from Brothers War has Flash. Oh, is that right? Oh, so there is some design space where stuff has Flash. That's just weird, though. I feel like if something has Flash, it needs to be, like, a human being behind it. To see the end, remember the past. Teferi. What wise words from Teferi. Never met the guy before. Or maybe I have. One of the Magicons. Anyway, okay, so yeah, we got Vault Self here. Alright, now let's go back. So we're gonna do a thing where we rotate between the donated cards and the ones on Custom Magic that have been upvoted so much. Okay, we have Faithless Lightning. What the hell? Okay, red, 1 generic instant. Faithless Lightning deals 3 damage to any target. Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards, and has flashback for 5 mana. I think it's fair. Like, honestly, it's 3 mana deal. It's like a 3 mana Faithless Looting. It is instant speed, though. Now, that is not super common. I mean, that is, yeah, it's very doable. 100% doable. 100% AI art? What are you talking about? It's just... You tell the AI generated... you tell the AI, please make a hybrid between... what's it called? Lightning Strike and Faithless Looting, and it gives you this. Just gives you a split between the 2 arts down the line. This lightning believes in no god. Anyway, I like this one. How can lightning be faithless? Faithless lightning. You know what? It's best we don't think about it too hard. That's what I'll put it that way. It's best we do not think about it too hard. I think this is a pretty cool card, actually. It might even see tournament play. It's probably... Would it see play in a burn deck? Probably. Like, at 3 mana, they might start... I think a lot of burn players would be excited about this. They can loot away their stupid garbage lands, and then if they still flood out, they can still flash this back for 5 mana. I think this would see competitive play. Really neat design. To be fair, I don't have faith in the lightning either. No one believes in the lightning. This lightning believes in no god. Was that or lightning loot? Oh, that was your... Was this your card? It was that or lightning loot. Oh yeah, it's between the 2. It was Faithless Looting and something... Oh, I can't remember. Something lightning. Alright, that's cool. Next up, we'll go with Yo Little Ted. Thank you very much for the super chat. Mox Ruby Red Slippers. Let me guess. This is a Toto. We're not in Kansas anymore. That's what it is. Mox Ruby Red Slippers, 0 mana for an equipment artifact. Equip for a red. Equip creature gains tap, add a red. Shatter. What kind of ability is this? Mox Ruby Red Slippers, return equip creature to your hand. Oh, this is the ability. So you can sack the artifact, blow it up, and then you can bring the creature back to your hand. Oh, as flavorful. You know, you tap your red ruby slippers, and boom, you go back home. Or something like that. How did she get lost in the first place? I gotta watch that movie again. There's no place like home. Yeah, should go back into the library then. That's where she goes. Frankly, when she hit the battlefield and there's a bunch of wizards, goblins, dragons, and all this other random crap flinging fire and stuff at each other. Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore. Where's the Wizard of Oz? Urza, send me home. The tornado stole her house. Oh, yeah. I have this in my mind. There's like a tornado. But then if she goes home, like, where's the house? Probably demolished in some sort of river or something. Toilet Duck. What if you equip it to an opponent's creature to remove that? You're not allowed to equip other people's creatures. Then it would be broken. But I think it's fair. I think it's really fair. I don't even think this is a red ability, but I understand that this is like the red slippers. So, and I think this is a bit of Wizard of Oz trivia. I think the original slippers were silver. I remember this being like a piece of trivia on like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire once, where they're like, what were the original slippers actually called? And it wasn't red. It wasn't red ruby slip. They weren't. This was like I guess when they got color TVs, they changed it to ruby. Yeah, she got cyclonic rifted. Oh no! Someone's overloading! That's what happened. The studio... Yes, I was right. Okay. Cool card. It gets a pass from me. Alright, moving on. We got... Torbjorn, Scrappyard Engineer, a red, 3/4 Human Dwarf Artificer. Whenever an artifact you control leaves the battlefield, you can pay 2. If you do, Torbjorn, Scrapyard Engineer deals 2 damage to any target. Okay, so you can shock everything for 2 mana. Red, 1 generic, tap, create a colorless Tourette artifact token with tap. This artifact deals 1 damage to target creature. This is really pushed. I think this is pretty pushed for it. I guess it's fine, but it's... Did we see this thing before? I think someone's resubmitting this thing. Yeah, it's a damage treasure. I don't know. I think this is... I want to say we've definitely seen this art. I don't know if we've seen this card. 3 mana for a 3/4. Now it's getting pretty tough. That's a pretty strong card. With so you can just tap and deal a damage. That's probably broken. I think that's it should be sack the token to deal damage. That actually makes a lot more sense. So you sack a token to deal damage, you can pay 2 more mana to deal an additional 2 damage to that 1 damage. Because like if you just accumulate these, and by the way, the 3 mana for a 3/4 creature with the first ability is probably just good enough. It's probably just good enough. I think we've seen it before, but it was a lot more expensive. So it's been an adjusted card. Anyway. I will say needs to lay off the sauce. Okay, let's try it. Let's go look for King Ginger's card again. King Ginger got robbed. Changeling for your lands. It's also possible that you don't even remember what the actual... I'm going to look up for your lands. For your lands. Can't find. How about Changeling? Changeling. Reinforced Changeling. Can I maybe sort by new? Changeling for your lands! Where's Changeling for your lands? I just don't see it. Did it get removed? Like, can you personally see this card? Maybe not. I guess, I mean, if you can figure out what happened, we'll definitely look at it one day. We got Memento! Blast Repellent. There we go. We got a Blast Repellent here. We got, it's for a hot, okay, is it 3 generic? Is it 3 generic? Okay, enchantment. Blast Repellent is indestructible. Oh god. If a spell you control is countered, you may choose 1. So you're trying to... So that you're telling me there's someone who has a lot of counter spells in your group. Okay, pay a blue one. No one has pay here. So this is not how we describe paying for stuff. You just have one generic and a blue, and then that's it. The next spell you cast this turn cannot be countered. Fair enough. Not really a blue thing, though. Okay, next we got pay red and one generic. Blast Repellent deals 3 damage to target creature or player. So it eternally can deal 3 damage to stuff. And then pay a blue, red, 2 generic, draw 2 cards. This is probably a broken card. It's like, it's got all these abilities, and you can't even get rid of this thing. I guess you can exile it. This is probably fine if you just don't make it indestructible. I don't know what's the point of making it indestructible. If you control... Oh, I see. These are all situational. Okay, do you know what? Okay, I take it all back. I'm so sorry. This is totally legal because it's only if a spell is countered you can do all these things. If your opponents just let your stuff resolve, then they don't get to do what the hell was going on here. Where was it? Oh, where was that? Yeah, thanks Obama. It was the Obama avatar choice. Yeah, so actually I think this is actually legal. This is totally illegal. Yeah, you gotta let a spell get countered first. So it actually could do nothing. So, I mean, if cast a spell, you gotta let it resolve. Don't be countering my spells here. I like this card because I had getting countered. You love it at that point. Blue doesn't get to benefit from being countered. Shred. After getting countered, I never have mana for anything. The next spell you cast this turn cannot be countered. So I guess it's like, okay, so you might lose something, but then this is totally fair. I like it. Counter yourself. Decent stuff. I don't know if it's even that good versus control. It's like 5 mana. I don't think they'll care. Okay, great stuff. Moving on to the regular part. We got the Mushroom War. Black, 4 generic. Destroy all creatures. Kablamo. Chapter 2. Each player creates X 2/2's black zombie creature tokens with Decayed, where X is the number of creatures destroyed by the Mushroom Bomb. So you gotta basically remember how many creatures got blown up. That's a problem. You know, a lot of Magic cards does not ask you to remember what happened last turn. So I think this is gonna be a shred for that reason. And then Chapter 3 is destroy all non-black creatures. I don't think it's way too expensive. I mean, like, there's tons of cards for 6, 7, 8 mana these days. Arena doesn't let you counter your own spells. Oh, it's for the last card. The card isn't named the Mushroom Bomb. Yeah, it's the Mushroom War. I guess you know what you could do actually though for this card. I guess you could exile all the creatures. No, that doesn't work either. It should just be like Chapter 1, maybe do nothing. Chapter 2, destroy all creatures for each creature destroyed this way. Or, you know what's actually a clean way? All creatures in graveyards get exiled and make a 2/2 black zombie token with Decayed. And I think that would be fine. That would work. Chapter 1 needs to note how many... Like, no one does that, though. Like, that... Or I guess they did that back in, like, 1994. Note how much mana you spent on this card. We don't do that anymore. I think it'd be fair, though. You exile all the creatures and you get a zombie in replacement. Isn't that flavorful? Doesn't that work? I think it works. Next up, we got Gabrielle. Hello there. No cards for me today. I've sent enough of them already. Just enjoy the show. Thank you so much, Gabrielle. I really appreciate it. We got fire. You're the fire. I'm the ice. We got... What the hell is this? Uridian Dark Fire Starter. Okay, we got red, black, 3 generic. For a 6/8 Dragon Praetor Shade. What the hell is a Shade? I didn't even know Shade was a creature type. Flying. Other shades. What is a Shade? Other shades you control get +1/+1. Obviously, Fire, you're in love with the Shade creature type. Not enough love for the shades out there. Whenever Uridian attacks, it fights up to one target creature you don't control. Whenever a creature dealt damage by Uridian this turn dies, you may return it to the battlefield under your control. It becomes a shade in addition to its other types. At 7 mana! Sweet card. I think it's very card. Whenever a creature dealt damage by... That's really cool. Yeah, finally! Shade Tribal has arrived. Also, I have to say, that is a wicked picture. I don't know where you pulled that one from, but that is really cool. Shade these nuts. Toads even likes it. Flavor Fail all shades. Black. +1/+1. I don't understand. Pretty strong, but fair cost. I think it's a pretty cool card. And remember, you have to deal... Whenever a creature dealt damage by Uridian this turn dies. So you like attack, shoot things by fighting it, and then it comes back under your control. Where do you find the custom cards? Go to Custom Magic at reddit.com. That's how you find the custom cards. That's how I'm finding them as well. Ooh, whoops. Go back to the main page. No, where were we? Oh, there, we're at the Mushroom War. All right. By the way, that guy gets a pass from me. Urgoyf, a planar scavenger. Yeah, green, black, 2 generic. For a 4 loyalty Urgoyf. Whenever you sacrifice a black creature, you may pay 2 life. If you do, each other player sacks a creature. Whenever you sack a green creature, you may gain 2 life. All right. So you just gain life, but you're sacking your black creatures. You make your opponent sack all your stuff. I guess does that sound too pushed? Because there's a lot of black creatures. They come back, you know, with Undying. A lot of Undying creatures out there. +2, you may sacrifice another permanent. If you do, draw a card and gain 1 life. That's a bit pushed. Let's see, you draw cards by sacking your permanents. It goes to 6 loyalty. -7, you get an emblem with creatures you control get +X/+X, where X is the number of creature cards in all graveyards. You guys think it's pushed? I think this thing is wild. That is very pushed. All right, we're gonna say it's pushed. That's gotta be like, I don't know. This has gotta be, I don't know, +1 maybe. You get, okay, these abilities cost nothing. It costs your life, so who cares? Abzo thinks it's Zybers. Some of you people out there with your persists and undying creatures, you're gonna take this thing to the moon. The hell does this mean? NNJCC 13, but C. You're speaking some language I don't know, that's for sure. Okay, anyway, so now we go to the super chats. We're gonna look at Abe. Thank you so much, Abe. Here's another one titled "I Hate Bear I Came Up With." That should be good enough. I hate bear I came up with. Really good against planeswalkers without making them unplayable. 2 years ago? You made this 2 years ago? It's time for it to finally get some appreciation today. Oh, too big. Gotta go a little bit smaller. All right, we've got Amara, the Spark Caesar. It's a white 1 generic, 2/1 creature, human wizard with flash. You gotta be careful with these hate bears with flash. If a planeswalker would enter the battlefield with more than 1 loyalty counter, why would it enter with 0? It enters with 1 loyalty counter instead. With more than 1... Oh, I see. So if it enters the battlefield with more than 1 loyalty, then you take it from 3 to 1. Okay, so you have also the activated ability of a white tap. Target permanent you control gains protection from planeswalkers until end of turn. You know what? This is pretty cool. We have no hate bears, nothing for planeswalkers. The best we got are things like Pithing Needle, Phyrexian Revoker, Sorceress Spyglass. I mean, like, okay, so Revoker is on a creature, but frankly, we don't really have enough stuff for counter the Wandering Chick, the Wandering one. This is a hate human. It is a hate. Oh, that's true. Yeah, not a bear. They're not all bears anyway. I guess it's not a 2/2. That's the real bear around here. Backdoor says ship it. I agree. We're going to ship this one. This is actually a really good card. It's really good design. They probably should. And it's a legendary creature. So you can't have multiples on the battlefield anyway, even if you wanted a bunch of them. I mean, cheaper, more fair than Vorinclex Monstrous Raider. Oh, yeah, absolutely. A lot more splashable, too. Vorinclex, not the most splashable card. Alright, so we're going to look at more custom Magic the Gathering cards, but we got to thank our sponsor, FusionGamingOnline.com, my one-stop shop for all my Magic the Gathering card needs. If I'm going to get stuff from March of the Machine, The Aftermath, I'm going to look at FusionGamingOnline.com. If I'm going to get Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth, I'm going to look first at FusionGamingOnline.com. And don't forget, if you want to buy singles and sealed product, get your singles and sealed product with coupon code Nikachu to get 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent real Magic cards. Not exactly for the custom Magic the Gathering crew, but you know what, you custom Magic players, you love being creative. And that's what renting cards is all about. You get to unlock your imagination, brewing to your heart's content by renting the cards, and if the brew sucks, you send them back and you rent something new. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_PG2. And now back to the Magic the Gathering cards. Oops. All right, what do we got? We have some super chats like GWJ. Thank you so much. If you loving the show, GWJ loves the show. Okay, next up we've got Vindicative Vigor. Green, red, 1 generic, and it's an enchantment. Whenever a spell you control is countered, you may put a creature card with equal or lesser mana value from your hand onto the battlefield. But well, it's got to be equal or less. So you can bait someone out. That's a very interesting card. It's actually quite amazing because you play a threatening card and people are like, do I really want to counter that? Because if I counter that, something way worse may come out. Maybe. And it creates sort of a bluffing game. Maybe you even front load like the dangerous card, because that maybe even something more dangerous is going to happen. It's super Zybers. And it's not like a threatening card. It's just hating on the counterspell people. What's with all the counterspell hate? What's wrong with classic blue counter target spell? It's just, people are just ganging up on the blue players these days. You can't counter you can't counter the second one. It just goes directly into play. And it can be, and it's not like show and tell. You can put something broken. It has to be something of equal or lesser mana value. So, cool stuff. You gotta force the will of the Vindicative Vigor. That's how it works. Alright, next up, we got, we have a lot of super chats to get through. Yo, little Ted! Ludicrous speed, go! Another Spaceballs fan. Ludicrous speed. This is so good. Okay, we have red, is it blue for an interrupt. You're trying to bring interrupt back? Okay, ludicrous speed. Spells with split second can be countered as though they didn't have split second, and spells that have can't be countered can be countered as though they didn't have can't be countered. Counter target spell. Light speed is too slow. We have to go right to ludicrous speed. Ludicrous speed, go! My brains are going into my feet! Stop this thing! Damn, I really wish they made a Spaceballs too. It's really hard because a lot of the actors are dead. Doesn't it already exist with Stratus Dancer? This card actually technically can't work. Because you can't put anything with split second, nothing else can be put on the stack. Unless... Spells with split second can be countered as though they didn't have split second. The problem is, when a spell with split second is on the stack, nothing else is allowed to go on the stack. So you can't even cast this thing unless you can get something to trigger, some other ability to trigger. The quest for more. That's right, the quest for more money. I would have loved that one. Would have been perfect. What is it, Mel? Mel Brooks? Oh, he's getting so old. He probably won't even need the makeup to be the not Yoda. Yogurt? I think his name was Yogurt. Gotta see that movie again. Can't believe that movie was like even remotely popular. Looking back on that thing, it was so we ain't found shit. That's right. That's also one of my favorite lines. Comb the desert, you idiots! Comb the desert. Ah, there's so many good lines from Spaceballs. Anyway, yeah, the card can't work. If you remove the split second thing, it works perfectly fine. We've been jammed! Yeah. Nobody gives me the raspberry except Lone Star. Your Schwartz is as big as mine. I'm happy to hear that the coffee crew has good. Did anyone remember, like, when I first started doing this, I was always quoting Spaceballs. Now that I got my coffee, I'm ready to watch Radar. It's like it blows over everyone's head, though. All right, moving on. We got, probably because the rest of the show is going to be all the super chats. Meteor Golem. Oh, this is disgusting. 8 generic for a 4/4 Golem. When Meteor Golem enters the battlefield, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Create a number of food tokens equal to that permanent's mana value. You get to blow something up, and then you get food. And then, so basically, I want to say, like, it should not, what is that? Not morph. Mutate. They should mutate into each other, like destroy target creature and mutate it onto this creature, and that would make it very flavorful. But I get this too. Yeah, you blow something up and you get all the food. But it's more like a butcher shop sort of thing. Yeah, it's some thick meat. Oh, Abzo, you think everything's Zybers. It don't danger, that's for sure, so it's a pass for me. Alright, moving on. We got Broly's. Broly's Shadow. We got D.Va and Taki. The Torborn was mine. I reworked it from last time. You have to pay to do damage. Yeah, I remember. It was still broken. Oh, what do we have here? Hubba hubba. We got DVA. Don't know what that means, though. It's a 2/3 human pilot gamer. We all love legendary gamers. This creature crews vehicles as though its power were 3 or greater. Am I understanding this correctly? There is not a single casting cost on this card. It says 0 mana card. That's broken. 0 mana card. That's broken. There is no casting cost. It's an Overwatch character. Oh, what is this? Oh, me want milk. Ooga ooga. It's pronounced Diva. All right, fair enough. Diva. It's a token. Where does it come from? Okay, so if it's a token, that's totally legit. I don't know where. I don't know the OG card though. There's 2 guards there. Oh, you sneaking in more than one. Well, you should have the token second, right? Okay, Taki the Rabbit Mech. It's red blue 3 generic 4/6 vehicle. Flying haste. This already looks pretty pushed. When Taki the Rabbit Mech enters the battlefield, create Diva, a legendary 2/3 red and blue human pilot gamer creature token. With this creature crews vehicles as though its power were 3 or greater. I love how we're getting so meta. We got gamers. We got gamers playing a game with, like, gamers as characters. So crew 5, red 2 generic, tap, sack a vehicle. Taki deals damage to each non-gamer creature equal to the power of the sacrificed vehicle. Taki the Rabbit Mech can be your commander. Nerf this. I like the flavor text. Gamers are free. So, I guess that's okay. This sort of looks a little pushed, but it's basically a 5 mana 4/6 flying haste creature. That's basically what it is. I think it's fine. Oh, King Gender trying to get back to us. Okay, the new title of the post is just Terraformation. All right, let's look that one up. King Gender got screwed on his suggestion. Terraformation. I couldn't fit that in the super chat. Totally fine. Okay, this is yours. King Gender. All right. 5 mana. Artifact. You may play lands from your graveyard. This so far is very disappointing. Something called Crucible of Worlds for 3 mana that does the same thing. Lands you control are every land type. What the hell? Locust, Desert, Urza? I think there's some Tron decks that... No, I guess Tron doesn't care. Locust decks might, but maybe not. I have no idea how you abuse this. I guess it's Zybers. Is it all land? It turns all lands into all land types. Or like land subtypes, I think you mean? Because I think those are all subtypes. Yeah, Cloud Post. Well, the thing is, if you have 5 mana out, probably you have a bunch of Cloud Posts already. Like, Cloud Post decks, they already have like a million things. Oh, you know what, though? It's hard to make Cloud Post work in Commander, because you have access to literally like 1 Cloud Post. I guess that's the deal. So now if you get Terraformation in Commander, and you get a Cloud Post out, now you can add like a million mana. I don't know if Maze's End... See, some cards have a subtype to them. What am I doing? So, like, if you look up Locust... Or sorry, not Locust. Cloud Post. If we look up Cloud Post, it's got a subtype of Locust. Maze's End doesn't have... I don't think Maze's End has a subtype. It's just a land. But some of them have Locust. What does Urza's Tower say? Urza's Tower. Says Urza's Tower. So some of them have subtypes to them. Gate. Gate would work. Yeah, I think. Hold on. Where we got Maze's End. Oh, is this what you guys were saying? Yeah, oh, you guys were talking... Yeah, Maze's End WinCon. You guys were right. Yeah, Maze's End. I thought you were talking about Maze of Ith for some stupid reason. Yeah, Maze's End... That'd be a WinCon, yep. So everything is a gate. This is not a gate, but the other gates are gates. Like Azorius Guild Gate. Yeah, okay. I think that's Ibers. I think that's cool. Probably would get banned in Commander, though. Probably would get banned in Commander. It's like a coalition victory type of card, I think. Needs 10 different names, so wouldn't help much. No, it would, but you'd have 10 different lands in play. You just have 10 different random lands, Terraformation, and you win. Easy, easy win. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. Just have 10 lands in play, Terraformation. Anyone can do anything about that? Maze's End, kill you. GG. Scrubs. My forest is... Exactly. It's a gate. It's a gate. Okay, that was a cool one. Now I know why King Ginger was so excited for the custom Magic the Gathering episode for 2 weeks. Okay, Censor. It is a white 1 generic instant. Counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell cast this way costs 2 more to cast. It's just like that that Spellbinder card. What is it? Elite Spellbinder? So it's like instead of like thought seizing them, now it's a counter spell. It gets exiled instead, and they can play it, but it has a tax of 2. It's totally fine. White counter spells, let's go! I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why white doesn't have like many or any counter spells. They're like neighbors to blue. They're like, they lay down the law of the land. It seems very flavorful that they should be allowed to counter stuff. Okay, I think I have to spend the rest of today just going through all these super chats. Okay, we got Jitsuku to Fairies. Temporal Rewind. To Fairies. Temporal. Or did I do this one? Posted 25 minutes ago. Alright, to Fairies Temporal Rewind. We got blue. 4 generic instant. Only play during your end step. That is insanely specific. Restart the turn. Any spells cast during the turn before Teferi's Temporal Rewind resolves can't be cast until the next turn. What the hell? Then exile Teferi's Temporal Rewind. So it's like you get another turn, but you cannot play the... It's like another... It's a take an extra turn spell. At instant speed, just like Nexus of Fate, but you're not allowed to play the same cards again. So it's like it's like you're trying to make a fair Nexus of Fate, is what you're telling me here. A fair, I guess. Well, see, here's the thing. The mana cost looks okay, but it's instant. And at instant, or restart the turn. Oh, but you know what? You can. Oh, this is so weird. Because you don't get to restart your turn unless it's on your turn. So it's effectively a sorcery. I guess it's fair. Honestly, I don't even think it's that playable. Why play this over Time Warp? Time Warp, it's like literally, it's take an extra turn card, but it's more expensive to get like really good use out of it. Because if you restart, say, someone else's turn, they get to untap all the mana. Basically, you play this, and if enemy counter your entire stuff, you can restart, and they cannot counter them again. No, you can't replay the stuff. Any spells cast during the turn before Teferi's Rewind resolves can't be cast until the next turn. I think. It's like an extra turn plus discontinuity. Yeah, exactly. If I understand this correctly. Not limited to your end step. Interesting command. Yeah, you could restart someone else's turn if they need like an extra attack step or something. You can't, for example, unshuffle the deck. Well, no, you definitely can't do that. This card seems like a cards that help your opponent more than it helps you. Well, I mean, you can still get another turn out of this, right? You just can't play the same types of spells, like if you're trying to loop stuff over and over again. I see nothing wrong with it. We take it to the Brewers to try to break it. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Alright, I have so many super chats. Thank you. I really appreciate the love and support from all you guys. Crab Tribal Thoughts? Is that the Crab Tribal Thoughts? That is the name of the title. Alright. We got a blue 2 generic 1/3 crab, usually for the mill decks. It's got Ward 2. I want to say that's broken. It's not actually I don't know why there isn't more Ward 2 on cards, especially since so much removal is 1 mana. Ward 1 just doesn't really do anything. That's why, like, Unsettled Mariner just, like, sees no play. Okay, abilities you activate from crab creatures cost 1 less. Crab creatures you control assign combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. What is this? This is what is that creature called? Not what's the Abzan tree guy? What's the Abzan? And I will admit, I would think crabs should attack for more. Those pincers don't do nothing. Yeah, I got crabs. Oh my god, this breaks Cherix. Maybe that's the point. Yeah, the Cherix creature. Finally, Cherix does something. Doran, yeah. This is Doran of the crabs. I think this is Ibers. I think it's cool. Give crabs something. They're all crap, really. This will make crabs playable, period. I don't know if it's flavorful that their toughness all of a sudden attacks. Maybe it is. You know, it's like they're all 100% shell. But if you provoke them, I mean, those pincers, they'll get you. Yeah, a lot of love out there for Cherix. Cherix will have their day. I didn't even say it's Kroshta, Shore Devil. Damn Kroshta. Leon wants a crab deck now. You got crabs. All right, thank you very much for the suggestion. We got Spectral Maniac, Hydra of Decay. Converted Shadowverse card. Note, you may need to search the full name to see it. Don't worry, I got it. The Hydra of Decay, a red, black, 5 generic, 6/6 zombie Hydra. Now that is a combo I've never heard of. They gotta make more, I don't know, is there a zombie dragon out there? Like, why is it only humans are zombies? There's like a million creatures out there. There is one zombie merfolk. Alright, it's a 6/6 with haste. Whenever Hydra of Decay attacks for the first time each turn, if it wasn't cast, untap it. Whoa, what the hell is that? Wait, if it attacks for the first time each turn if it wasn't cast, but it's in play already. Untap it. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase after this. So you're saying if we've reanimated this from the graveyard, it should say if it was... I don't know how you word it, but it's not worded very well. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, cheated in play. Did it have to get reanimated if it came from the graveyard this turn? I think that's how you should word it. If it attacks for the first time, if it came from the graveyard this turn, or some phrase like that somehow, there's an additional combat phase. When Hydra of Decay dies, you may exile 6 cards from your graveyard. If you do, return Hydra of Decay to the battlefield under your control. Pretty neat card. Pretty neat card. It has haste. It does have haste. That's right. I don't think it's tricky to word. You know, if it attacks for the first time each turn, if it was cast from the graveyard, or no, if it wasn't cast from hand this turn, untap it. I think that might be a fair way of doing it. But it also means it can enter the battlefield through other means, like show and tell and stuff. If it wasn't the turn it was cast. Oh, is that what it means? I think what it wants to say is, like, if it comes out of the graveyard this turn, it's like it gets a second attack step. I think it's a loophole to cheating cards, except they come tap. It's good to specify not cast, though, because if you did, like, Underworld Breach, it might enter from an area not from the hand, but still be cast. That's true. There are exactly 4 zombie dragons, the most neat of which is Ebondeath Dracolich. You think the wording is fine? I think it's a little ambiguous. So if it wasn't cast, untap it. Okay, I guess it's true. So if it wasn't, so basically it gets haste this turn, and then on the next turn it technically wasn't cast that turn. I think it should say if it wasn't cast this turn. If you cheat it with a card that puts it in play but it's tapped, you can untap it right away. I don't. I think that's what it means. Yeah. I don't think you're supposed to have to remember how a creature entered the battlefield for the rest of the game. Well, not for the rest of the game, but for that turn, I think it's fine. If it works for the very turn, I think it's fine. It works out. All right, we're gonna give it a pass. I think the wording could be a little bit more clear. I'm not exactly sure how the original thing was supposed to work. Hold on, we got the Spectral Maniac. Okay, the original text was if it was summoned using an effect. That's worse. Yeah, you definitely made it better, but it's still not there. It's still, in my opinion, not there. King Ginger says, it goes infinite with Aurelia. Come on, everything goes infinite with Aurelia. Big deal. Red Co. Word of Radiance. A creature token board. Who's hating on creature tokens? Do we need token hate out there? White, 1 generic sorcery. Destroy all creature tokens. This is like when they printed Plague Engineer. It's like, who needs to hate on tokens? Is the token metagame getting too broken? Do you want to be actually an interesting card? Destroy all tokens. So you destroy the treasure tokens, the clue tokens, blow it all up. We're not gonna deal with just the. I mean, there's all sorts of tokens, and now that I think about it, like I never thought about this, Redco, but there really isn't any token hate outside of like weird enchant. Like nothing specifies tokens. It's just like all creatures get -1/-1 or some crap like that. The bear loves the arts. Isn't that Dorian? I have no idea. You fool! My tokens are indestructible. Okay, then you could have something like all tokens must be sacrificed or something. It's an effect that works every turn. Not just it doesn't work if it was cast from hand. Oh, you're talking about the last card. Hey, why not destroy creatures 3 mana or less? Like, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of stuff like that. So that's why I'm saying, well, you might want to destroy the tokens, but you don't want to blow up your stuff. So that's why you use the Word of Radiance. So, yeah, I cannot. Anyway, I think it's fine. It's accurately costed. You want to put a bunch of tokens onto the battlefield, just blow it up for 2 mana. We got next. Ooh, fire is back. Last one for today, the Bone Claw. I may have pushed it too far, but I personally like the design. As always, thanks for rating my cards. You're welcome, Fire. Thanks for submitting it. We got a black 3 generic 6/6 Death Touch Reach. Sort of like, you know, Grave Titan, in a way. Soul Bond. If Bone Claw would die, if it's paired with a creature, it phases out instead. Oh, so like basically, you can't kill it. So long as it's soulbound to something. I actually don't think it's pushed. I mean, it's a 5 mana reach death touch 6/6 clunker. And I don't think it's even too hard to interact with. You could kill the other soulbound creature first and then kill this, right? But I guess if you board wipe, this actually stays on. I think it's a cool design. I think it actually just works. Can't it just have banding instead? No, can't have that. I guess Soul Bond is the new banding. What is Soul Bond? Soul Bond is when you, like, there's like a creature and you soul bond it to another one, and then when you combine those creatures, when the 2 creatures are soul bound, they get a special ability, or a special ability gets unlocked with soul bond. And in this case, when it's soul bond to something, if it would die, it just phases out instead. So, neat card. Sweet stuff. I think that's a real card. Okay, Abe, thank you so much for the super chat. Last one I have. Is this Legacy playable? It means it's gotta be really pushed. Actually, there's a lot of clunky stuff that can exist in Legacy. Seismic Breach. We got a red, green, 1 generic enchantment. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, Seismic Breach deals 2 damage to each player. Pay a green and 1 red, sacrifice a land, search a library for a land card, and put onto the battlefield tapped. Ooh. It only deals damage to players. I'm just thinking, is this modern playable? Sacrifice a land, search your library for a land. You know, it probably would be broken in modern because it's just because you don't lose anything. You literally don't lose anything. You're just like, okay, pay to sack a land, get a land back. You can sack one of the lands that you just like paid mana for. You just very easily start doming your opponent. It's probably broken. You know what would make it fair? If you sack 2 lands to put 1 land into play, that would work. Yeah, land tutor for any land. I tell you what, if you make it sack 2 lands to tutor a land into play, that probably is fine. Yeah, landfall go burr. Dark Depths. Yeah, that's probably fine. Yeah, it also deals damage to you, exactly. Oh, it deals oh, so ooh. Okay, maybe this is fair. That actually, I missed that. The spheres. It deals damage to you. Oh, that's wild. So actually, the more you deal damage, the more you're just sending yourself to your death. And if that actually makes it way more fair. It's like a seismic assault. I think it's fair, yeah. The fact that it deals damage to each player, including yourself, I have a feeling it'd be hard. I wonder, would a burn player want to play this? Second ability is just Elvish Reclaimer for colorless mana. Well, not for colorless. Gotta pay a red and a green there. So, okay, I don't know. I mean, this would be a very interesting card to see actually get printed and see how the world would be warped around it. See you later, Toads. This is gonna be a long one. Oh no, maybe it's not too long. Okay, anyway, we're gonna go to Red Coat. Red Coat, flashbang. We are gonna go over time though, that's for sure. An interesting cantrip idea. This guy's lost their soul. We got a white one generic instant. Target player reveals their hand. They can't look at or search their library until end of turn. Draw a card. My eyes! Oh, that's cool. Target player reveals their hand, and they can't look at or search their library until end of turn. So on, it just... Okay, so they can still look at their hand. So everyone can see their hand. But, this is a very interesting counter. So if someone tries to search... This basically, like, is a... What is that? There is a blue-black card, a Dimir card, that prevented you from searching your library, and this is just a far superior version of that. So when you try to crack a fetch land... What? Sorry! Flashbang! Try to tutor for something. Flashbang! Exactly, plain response to fetch. Judge, my opponent looked at their library. Well, I guess it's just... They can't look at or search... That is a bit weirdly worded. The whole can't look at... You can stare at the library. You just can't search it. Yeah, Shadow Doubt is what I was thinking about. Great card, though. Like, probably... Yeah, bang you. That doesn't sound odd at all. I like this card. You stop fetch lands or anything. It's a strong Shadow of Doubt. And really, it actually brings back into balance. You know, we always talk about how tutoring into play. Like the best cards are tutors. In some, fetch lands are basically tutors. Tutors are tutors, and this actually is a really good answer to them. Like a clean answer too. Some incentive to play this card because it actually draws a card. I think can't look means abilities. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Ah, or maybe if the top of the library is revealed, you can suddenly... Okay, that makes sense. Okay, ship. We're gonna ship it. 100%. It's a doable card. All these abilities are doable. And it's Zybers. Oh, King Ginger, you posted again. Great. Yeah, we got ya. We got ya. Yo, little Ted. With the super chat. Necro Palace. God. Necro Palescence. Necro Pale. Oh, I screwed up here. Found it. Okay, we got a white, black, 2 generic. Necropalescence, whatever the hell that means. Enchantment, skip your draw step. Sacrifice an enchantment, draw a card. Oh. Necro-opalescence, exactly. If Necro-opalescence is in your graveyard, all your enchantments become creatures with power and toughness equal to their casting cost. Okay. You may play enchantments from your graveyard. What the hell? Okay, this is getting a bit stupid. So you can also just bring this back from the graveyard. Sack an enchantment, draw cards. So you can cast the enchantments from your graveyard. So it's really no restriction here. You get as many cards as you can cast enchantments. And there's a lot of cheap ones out there. I think this one might danger. Skip your draw step, sack an enchantment, draw a card. But you can't pay life. That is... It's probably fair. It's probably... Is it fair? Do you guys know how to break this? Does it... It's clunky, though. So you don't get to draw any more cards anymore. But on the other hand... you know what? There's all sorts of enchantments out there. Enchantress is a deck for a reason, because it's got a lot of enchantments, or creature enchantments. So as you cast enchantments, you draw cards. So maybe drawing the cards is not really that. You don't even have to sacrifice stuff to draw cards. This is just a reanimation for all your enchantments that died. All shines are enchantments. It is clunky. Like, currently, enchantment decks have a lot of cards, like a lot of good ones, and it just doesn't hit the mark very well. Yeah, you have to pay to cast those cards, that's for sure. Underworld Breach, danger. You know what? It is like Underworld Breach, except it's permanent. It's permanently Underworld Breach. The last ability is broken. The whole cast, you can play enchantments from your graveyard. I'm gonna regret this, but this is like an off-color Enchantress card because that's green, white, and this one has black. I'm gonna give it a pass, but with like This card could get mega banned really fast. Brawlies! Shadow. Sombra Master Hacker. Another Overwatch character. We got black, blue, 3 generic, 2, 3. I don't know anything about Overwatch. Am I missing something? Should I watch Overwatch? Is there an anime on Overwatch or some sort of movie I can watch? Gets me an idea what the lore is. We got a 2/3 human rogue with Flash. When Sombra enters the battlefield, creatures and artifacts you don't control lose all abilities until end of turn. Cool. I think it's really expensive. I think you could bring it down by quite a bit. Creatures and artifacts you don't control lose all abilities until end of turn. Apagando Las Luces, says Sombra. Overwatch is a PC game. I wish there was. All we have are the cinematics. There's probably some compilation that I could watch. This card, I think you made too fair. I think you could bring the casting cost down by a lot. I think this could be 4, or I don't know, maybe you could bring it down to at least 4 mana. Maybe that's fine. Maybe 3 mana would be pushed. I can't tell. 3 was probably like pushed, but probably okay. This is definitely a fine card. It's a really cool one. I think we should have more cards that make everything lose all their abilities. Turn off the lights. Blizzard hasn't really come out with many new animated shorts, though. That's too bad. Yeah, it would easily 4 mana, no problem. We're not even blinking. We wouldn't blame you. Redco with the super chat. Thank you so much. I'll give you this one. The Silver Crusade. Slash Jolin, Soul Keeper of the Flame. What is this all about? We gotta zoom out for this one. Alright, for a white 5 generic enchantment, when the Silver Crusade enters the battlefield or transforms, choose a creature type, then destroy all creatures of the chosen type. I hate it! Stay off my merfolk. And it's got Daybound. So when you go to the other side, when Jolan, Soul Keeper of the Flame, enters the battlefield or transforms, put a +1/+1 counter on each other human you control. And it's got Nightbound. So every single time it like transforms, you blow everything up? Oh god, I hate it. 6 mana. But the thing is, it's not even a 6 mana sweeper. It's like a 6 mana sweeper against just me. And like, how do you guys feel about your dragon decks? All your dragons got blown up. And only your dragons. Yeah, like another human support card. They really love humans. Yeah, Wizards of the Coast and people. Humans! The most overpowering dominant creature type of all creatures. I don't know what to think about this card. It's like, it's not too expensive. I mean, it's not too cheap. 6 mana is a lot of mana. It enters the battlefield and it constantly blows my stuff up. You just keep flipping and keep blowing things up. Ugh, I can't. I want to shred this one. Seems balanced for the cost. You know, it's balanced until it's nuking people. And it's only a one-sided board wipe. I hate those cards. It destroys all creatures with a type, so if you are playing the same cards, it blows your creatures up as well. Yeah, but like you just name something that doesn't blow your stuff up. You're obviously going to be playing humans. Obviously. Anyway, I can't pass on that one. Redco. My heart! Maybe I'm being, what's it called? Maybe I'm being biased, because I'm a merfolk player. Anyway, thank you very much for all your submissions. If you want to be part of the show, you got to be here Monday to Friday. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Got to be here Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks for showing up. Thank you very, very much for supporting the channel with your super chats, your custom cards, people who are members of the channel, and also patrons on Patreon. For as long as you're supporting the channel, supporting the show, I will be here every morning for all of you. And most important, we gotta thank the coffee crew who shows up in the morning with me. Like, we got Termus, Robboy, Dem, Spectral Maniac, King Ginger, Yo Little Ted, Bulky, Tormus, Henrik, Redco, Toads, Air Tempest, Brawlies, The Bear. We got Pyre, Because without you guys, Bread, Steve, Aquane, Tommy, yeah, just like you, Tommy. So without you guys, I'd have nothing. Well, I guess I'd have some, you know, some stuff on Reddit and whatever, the AI generated stuff. But you guys are the show. You're the S tiers. You're the real Zybers of this world. So, as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing up them coffees, and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.